Hello, beautiful listeners, and welcome back to Green Earth Essentials. I'm your host, Michelle Jackson. Lately, I've been noticing more and more food recalls in the news. Lettuce, cheese, frozen fruit, even snacks for kids. Words like E. coli, salmonella, and listeria pop up again and again. It made me wonder, where do these invisible threats actually come from, and what can we do to protect ourselves? We often take for granted that what's sitting on our plate is safe, but the truth is, food safety begins long before we ever open a package or turn on the stove. Today, we're going to uncover the real story behind foodborne illness, what causes it, how it spreads, and simple, mindful ways to keep our meals safe without living in fear. This isn't about panic, it's about empowerment. Let's pull back the curtain on our food system and learn how awareness can be one of the healthiest ingredients in our kitchen. Let's start by meeting the main culprits behind most foodborne illnesses. One of the most notorious is E. coli 0157H7, a strain that naturally lives in the intestines of animals, especially cattle. Most strains of E. coli are harmless, but this one becomes dangerous when it contaminates beef or produce through manure, dirty water, or unsanitary handling. Even a small amount can cause serious illness. Salmonella is another well-known offender. It's often found in raw eggs, poultry, and sometimes even plant-based foods like onions, peanut butter, or cantaloupes. Because it spreads easily through cross-contamination, salmonella remains one of the most common causes of food poisoning worldwide. Then there's Listeria monocytogenes, the stealthy one. Unlike most bacteria, Listeria thrives in cold environments and can survive inside refrigerators and freezers. It has been linked to contaminated ice cream, soft cheeses, deli meats, and frozen fruits, and can be especially dangerous for pregnant women, newborns, and the elderly. Campylobacter is another frequent culprit, usually associated with raw or undercooked poultry. It's one of the leading causes of bacterial diarrhea globally and can sometimes lead to long-term complications like arthritis or nerve disorders. Finally, Clostridium perfringens, sometimes called the buffet bacteria, flourishes in food that has been left out too long at unsafe temperatures. It's notorious for striking after large family gatherings, potlucks, or holiday meals, where dishes sit out for hours. We also can't forget about the viruses and parasites that cause foodborne illness. Norovirus spreads rapidly through poor hand washing and contaminated shellfish, while hepatitis A attacks the liver and can spread through infected food handlers. There's also Toxoplasma gondii, a microscopic parasite often found in undercooked meat that can pose serious risks to pregnant women and people with weakened immune systems. The list may sound intimidating, but understanding these microbes is empowering. When we know where they come from and how they behave, we can take simple steps to keep them out of our kitchens and our bodies. So, how does something that starts in soil, water, or animal waste end up in our food? The truth is that contamination can happen anywhere along the food chain, from the moment crops are planted or animals are raised to the time a meal lands on your plate. Every link in the system, from farm to fork, carries its own risks if hygiene and safety aren't maintained. On farms, contamination often begins invisibly. Crops can be irrigated with water contaminated by runoff from livestock operations, or fertilized with manure that hasn't been properly composted to kill pathogens. Bacteria such as E. coli or Salmonella can thrive in most soils and attach themselves to leaves or roots. Animals themselves can carry harmful microbes in their intestines, and when they are slaughtered, those bacteria can spread to the surface of the meat through contact with equipment or workers' hands. Even wildlife, like birds or rodents, can play a role in spreading contaminants when they pass through growing fields or storage areas. Once food leaves the farm, it enters the processing stage, a critical point where sanitation makes all the difference. Inside processing plants, a single lapse can lead to widespread consequences. A dirty conveyor belt, poorly cleaned slicing machine, or workers who neglect proper hand washing can all become sources of contamination. Shared equipment used for both raw and cooked products can transfer bacteria if not disinfected properly. And because many food products are mixed or packaged in bulk from multiple farms, a single contaminated ingredient can spread to thousands of packages before anyone even notices. The risk doesn't end there. As food travels through distribution networks, trucks, warehouses, and grocery stores, temperature control becomes essential. If refrigeration fails or perishable foods are left unrefrigerated during transport, bacteria can multiply rapidly. Once a contaminated product reaches store shelves, it's already poised to reach kitchens nationwide. Finally, at home, contamination often shifts from large scale to personal habits. Cross-contamination is one of the most common causes of foodborne illness. It can happen when raw chicken juices drip onto fresh produce in the refrigerator, when the same cutting board is used for vegetables and meat, or when hands aren't washed after handling raw ingredients. These seemingly small oversights can create dangerous opportunities for pathogens to spread to ready-to-eat foods. A powerful real-world example of how contamination travels through the food chain occurred in 2006 when a massive E. coli outbreak linked to bagged spinach sickened hundreds of people across the United States. Investigators traced the source to contaminated irrigation water used on one farm in California. That single water source ended up affecting produce shipped nationwide, ultimately leading to major reforms in U.S. produce safety laws, including stricter water quality standards and field testing requirements. From that event, one clear lesson emerged. Food safety isn't just about what happens in the kitchen, it's a chain of responsibility that begins at the source and extends all the way to the consumer's plate. When harmful microorganisms make their way into our food, the results can range from mild stomach upset to life-threatening disease. Once ingested, these pathogens travel through the digestive system, multiply rapidly, and release toxins that damage tissues or spread to other parts of the body. The severity depends on the type of contaminant, how much was consumed, and the health of the person who ate it. E. coli infections often cause intense abdominal cramps and bloody diarrhea, and in rare cases can lead to kidney failure, particularly in children and older adults. Salmonella commonly brings fever, nausea, vomiting, and prolonged gastrointestinal distress that can leave people dehydrated for days. Listeria behaves differently from most bacteria. It can grow even in cold environments like refrigerators. While it may cause only mild flu-like symptoms in healthy adults, it can be deadly for vulnerable populations. In pregnant women, listeria can lead to miscarriage, premature birth, or stillbirth, which is why certain high-risk foods like unheated deli meats and soft cheeses are best avoided during pregnancy. Campylobacter infections are another leading cause of bacterial food poisoning. Beyond diarrhea and fever, some cases can trigger complications like reactive arthritis or Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare nerve disorder that causes temporary paralysis. Norovirus, often called the stomach flu, spreads with incredible ease, especially in restaurants or shared kitchens, and causes sudden vomiting, cramps, and diarrhea. Every year, the CDC estimates that about 48 million Americans, roughly 1 in 6, get sick from contaminated food. Around 128,000 require hospitalization, and about 3,000 die. These aren't just numbers, they're reminders of how crucial food safety really is. The silver lining: most of these illnesses are preventable. With clean handling, proper cooking, and safe storage practices, we can dramatically reduce the risks. Now we will explore how to do exactly that, so the food we love remains both delicious and safe. Washing produce might seem like a simple step, but it's one of the most important defenses against foodborne illness. The short answer is yes. Rinsing does help, though it's not a perfect shield. What washing really does is reduce the risk, not eliminate it entirely. It removes dirt, pesticide residues, and some of the bacteria that cling to the surface, but it can't reach pathogens that have already made their way inside the fruit or vegetable. The key is technique, not fancy products. Always rinse produce under cool running water, rather than soaking it in a bowl. The gentle friction from rubbing the surface, combined with flowing water, helps dislodge contaminants. For firm-skinned produce like melons, apples, cucumbers, and potatoes, a clean produce brush works wonders. For softer fruits like berries, rinse them just before eating or cooking to prevent them from spoiling faster. With leafy greens, remove and discard outer leaves. Then separate the rest and rinse thoroughly in a colander to flush away dirt and microbes trapped between folds. Some people prefer a natural cleaning boost, and a diluted vinegar solution can help. Mixing 1 part white vinegar with 3 parts water, soaking produce briefly, and then rinsing it well under running water can reduce bacterial counts and pesticide residues slightly. The vinegar may not kill every microbe, but it offers a safe, non-toxic layer of protection. And a word of warning, never use soap, detergent, or bleach on food. These chemicals are designed for cleaning surfaces, not something you eat. They can leave behind harmful residues that irritate the digestive system or worse. Even so-called produce washes aren't necessary. Research shows plain water with friction works just as effectively. Finally, even if you plan to peel or cut your fruits and vegetables, wash them first. Knives and peelers can transfer bacteria from the surface into the flesh. A few seconds of rinsing can mean the difference between a fresh snack and a night of stomach cramps, and that's an easy trade-off. Once food reaches your kitchen, science takes the wheel. Heat, cold, and separation are the 3 pillars of food safety, and understanding how each one works can drastically reduce your risk of illness. Heat is the most powerful weapon against bacteria, but only if food is cooked to the right internal temperature. Visual cues like color or texture can be misleading. Chicken can look done before it's safe. Using a food thermometer ensures accuracy. Ground meats should reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius. Poultry 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius, and fish 145 degrees Fahrenheit, 63 degrees Celsius. Leftovers and casseroles should always be reheated to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit before serving. These temperatures aren't arbitrary. They're based on the point at which harmful microbes like E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria are destroyed. Temperature control doesn't end when the cooking stops. Once food cools into the danger zone between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius, bacteria can multiply rapidly. To keep food safe, refrigerate or freeze leftovers within 2 hours of cooking, or within 1 hour if the temperature is above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Celsius. Store food in shallow containers to help it cool evenly and quickly. The second rule of food safety is separation. Raw meat, poultry, seafood, and eggs should never come into contact with ready-to-eat foods like fruits, vegetables, or salads. Use separate cutting boards and utensils for each, and always wash them thoroughly with hot, soapy water after use. Be especially careful with marinades. Never reuse one that has touched raw meat unless it's been boiled first. Even food companies have learned the hard way that sanitation matters. The Bluebell ice cream recall of 2015 is a chilling example. Listeria bacteria had colonized production equipment that wasn't properly sanitized, contaminating multiple batches over time. Because Listeria can survive cold environments, it spread quietly until people started getting sick. The case underscores why cleaning and temperature control go hand in hand. When it comes to food safety, there's no single magic step. It's the combination of proper washing, cooking, chilling, and separating that keeps our meals safe. Each action is a small piece of a much bigger system designed to protect health and confidence in every bite. Not all foods carry the same risk of contamination. Some are far more likely to harbor harmful microbes, while others are naturally more resistant. Knowing which is which helps you make smarter choices, especially when cooking for children, older adults, or anyone with a weakened immune system. Higher risk foods tend to be those that are raw, minimally processed, or handled frequently before reaching your plate. Raw sprouts are one of the top offenders. They grow in warm, humid conditions that are perfect for bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella. Leafy greens such as spinach, lettuce, and kale are also frequent recall targets because they can be exposed to contaminated irrigation water or soil. Soft cheeses made from unpasteurized milk, deli meats, and pâtés can harbor listeria, especially when stored in cold environments where the bacteria thrive. Undercooked poultry, beef, and eggs remain classic sources of Salmonella and Campylobacter, while unpasteurized juices and raw milk can carry a mix of pathogens including E. coli. Pre-cut fruits and bagged salads, though convenient, can be risky too. The more a food is handled or processed, the more opportunities bacteria have to spread. Lower risk foods, on the other hand, are those that have been pasteurized, canned, dried, or cooked thoroughly. Pasteurization, the process of heating liquids to kill bacteria, has dramatically reduced illnesses from milk and juices. Canned foods, dry grains, and beans are also very safe as long as they're stored properly. Once cooked, foods like soups, stews, and baked goods are generally low risk, provided they're kept at safe temperatures afterward. It's worth noting that the labels organic or natural don't automatically mean safer. These terms describe how food is grown or produced, not how it's handled after harvest. An organic cucumber can still carry E. coli if it's washed with contaminated water, and conventionally grown produce can be perfectly safe if handled properly. Food safety depends on hygiene, temperature control, and clean handling, not marketing language. Real-world outbreaks have shown this repeatedly. The 2011 listeria outbreak, linked to cantaloupes in Colorado, caused dozens of deaths and shocked consumers who never imagined fruit could be deadly. Similarly, the 2018 E. coli outbreak, tied to romaine lettuce, led to massive recalls across North America. These incidents remind us that even foods we consider healthy can become dangerous if something goes wrong along the supply chain. The takeaway is balance. Choose a variety of fresh, whole foods, but handle them wisely. A little extra care in washing, cooking, and storage keeps those nutritious choices as safe as they are healthy. Let's bring it all together with a few simple habits that make a world of difference in keeping our food and our bodies safe. Start by keeping a small thermometer in your refrigerator. It should stay below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius to slow bacterial growth. Always wash your hands for at least 20 seconds before and after preparing food. And remember to thaw frozen meats in the refrigerator, never on the counter. Use clean cloths or paper towels instead of damp sponges, which can quickly become breeding grounds for bacteria. When storing leftovers, label containers with the date so you'll know what's safe to eat. For a natural approach to kitchen care, skip harsh chemical cleaners. A simple mix of white vinegar and water works beautifully as a surface spray, cutting through grease and reducing bacteria. To make it more uplifting and gently antimicrobial, you can add a few drops of food-safe essential oils like lemon, thyme, or oregano. Just remember to wipe surfaces thoroughly, especially after handling raw meat or eggs. You can even take these oils a step further by using them as a gentle rinse for produce, adding 1 or 2 drops of lemon, oregano, clove, or cinnamon oil to a bowl of water before washing fruits or vegetables can help reduce microbial contamination while keeping everything natural and safe to eat. Beyond your kitchen, support local farms and brands that value transparency. At your farmer's market, ask how produce is handled and washed. And for an extra layer of awareness, check FDA or CDC recall websites. You can even sign up for free email alerts so you'll always know if a product you buy is affected. It's these small mindful actions, repeated consistently, that really add up. Each step, from washing your hands to using food-safe oils, helps create a safer kitchen and healthier meals. It's simple, it's natural, and it keeps your home strong from the inside out. When you think about it, food safety is more than just preventing illness. It's an act of respect for the farmers who grow our food, for the earth that nourishes it, and for the bodies we live in. By washing, cooking, and storing food mindfully, we honor that connection. Awareness transforms the way we eat, not out of fear, but out of gratitude and care. If you found today's episode helpful and want to support my mission to create more holistic, science-based wellness content, I'd love for you to join me on Patreon at patreon.com/Green Earth Essentials. Your support helps me to keep exploring the fascinating connections between nature, science, and self-care, one mindful episode at a time. Until next time, stay curious, stay nourished, and stay well. This is Michelle Jackson, signing off.